You can mix like a pro with just 4 plugins in Logic, but if your recordings suck, none of them will help. So we got to fix that first. If you want to follow along with your own mix, grab the free Mix Like a Pro cheat sheet. It's down in the description. Okay, so how do you know if your recordings are even weak in the first place? To find out, we're going to have to uncover the 4 pillars of a great recording. Pillar 1 is groove. Great recordings lock into groove. If your timing is sloppy, everything falls apart, but if everything is also perfectly quantized and robotic, that also just sounds bad, so you have to leave room for a feel, especially with drums and bass. Pillar 2 is performance. Whether it's played live, MIDI, or samples, you need to add some type of emotional dynamics into it. So watch your dynamics, vary your chord voicings, this helps a lot, and just make every section feel intentional and different. Pillar 3 is texture and space. Ask yourself, like, how wide is this? How wet? How gritty? Use reverb, stereo placement, subtle distortion in areas, but don't just like load a preset in and just hope that that's going to work. You have to be purposeful. You have to learn this stuff and build a vibe that works with the song. Pillar 4 is you have to capture the recording right. This is where actually most beginners just fall flat. Record at a good level. So -9 is fine, is what I like to teach beginners because that's just easy to remember. I usually like to aim for like -4, -5, but -9, if you had to choose anything, is a safe starting point. So now that you've got solid recordings, this honestly just made mixing 100 times easier. Let me show you now the 4 free Logic plugins I use on almost every mix. The first one is channel EQ. So let's use this channel EQ on a vocal recording as an example. And pro tip, try your best to EQ things in context, even though that's really hard at the beginning, but it's going to be helpful. Let me explain. This vocal has a great performance, great feel, good timing, nice signal, strong and good texture, but even a good take can sometimes need some cleaning up. So let's listen again in context, also in solo. Another lifetime, just like a movie, that classic scene where the cowboy's on the run. Can you hear anything? Like when I listen, I'm concentrating on 2 things most of the time. Like, is anything boomy or like muddy? And is there anything annoying or harsh? And for me, the word another lifetime jumps out as being a little bit low and kind of, there's a bit of low end buildup. Another lifetime, just like a movie. So there we go. I'm going to make a small bell cut around this area just to clean up that low end buildup on that word specifically. Another lifetime, just like a movie, that classic scene where the cowboy's on the run. And by the way, if you're following along and like, how do I remember this stuff? Just keep the Mix Like a Pro cheat sheet open. It's linked in the description. All right, so after that's cleaned up, I honestly don't hear anything else right now that's wrong with this vocal, so I'm just going to leave it. Of course, I could add some brightness or do some other things, but I don't feel it needs it right now. Maybe later. I'm just going to move on. So next, let's make this vocal like really pop in the mix with some compression. I'm going to be using the Logic Studio FET compressor, and here's why. Compression really helps control the volume spikes and bring quieter words forward. It even just brings everything out more. But more importantly, it really brings energy to the vocal. And it's very rare that I would leave a vocal uncompressed in a big arrangement like this. So for beginners, there's one huge challenge here. You can't hear what's going on. Like compression is really, really hard. The first time I watched a compression tutorial and they said, listen to this, I was like, there's no difference. I can't hear anything. So it's going to take a bit, but here's a pro tip. Try to listen to the compression in the full mix, in context, not in solo. And most importantly, turn off the auto gain, because that way you're not just hearing the effect of the compressor with just loud volume. So turn that off. Okay, let's look at, and I'm going to play it in solo for example, just a second, and then I'll get back to my own advice of playing it in context. I'm turning the compressor on, setting it gain off here, and just leave the makeup gain alone for now, and watch as I move some of these dials how it affects the vocal. Another lifetime,
just like a movie.
Automatically, as soon as I put the attack down like that, it slams the vocal down. So that's, you start to learn, okay, if I slam the attack down, that means the attack of the compressor is really going to engage quickly, so it will chomp down on the vocal. I don't really want that to happen on the vocal, so I won't do that. Let's watch it release.
Another lifetime, just like a movie. That classic scene where the cowboy's on the run.
Notice when the release is slow, it's louder.
Another lifetime.
And when it's slower, that needle is taking a while to get back to zero, so it's still quieting down the vocal.
Another lifetime.
So I don't want a slow release, I kind of want it to be faster.
Another lifetime.
Threshold is all about just how much you want to turn it on, how much compression.
Another lifetime, just like a movie. That classic scene where the cowboy's on the run. Living life hour by hour, moving onward every day.
Now, in context.
Lifetime, just like a movie. That classic scene where the cowboy's on the run. Living life hour by hour, moving onward every day. Freedom don't come easy, so they say. I think it's high time I should finally stay.
So all right, we've cleaned it up, we've given it some energy. Now the next step is to give it some space and dimension. So reverb and delay help your sound like live inside the mix. You can think of reverb and delay like glue. They add that space, depth, and emotion where they especially work great in all, like you're gonna have reverb mostly in all songs, but in the slow, open songs, they add a lot too. So here's the key. Always mix your reverb again and delay. I'm like a broken record here, but in context, not in solo. Solo, listening to reverb, especially in solo or delay, it sounds sometimes like way too much or even way too little. And then it could actually be really good in the context of the mix. So always in context, that's where the real answers are. I have a Space Designer reverb, and it's just a vocal plate. It's a preset that I've chose under small spaces here. Plate. So as I was saying, in context are the answers. So let's listen in context and watch as I play with this wetness dial and maybe some of the length, maybe some of these other things. Just see if I can find a glue and blend to this lead vocal here.
Another lifetime, just like a movie. That classic scene where the cowboy's on the run. Living life hour by hour, moving onward every day. Freedom don't come easy, so they say. I think it's high time I another lifetime, just like a movie. That classic scene where the cowboy's on the run. Living life hour by hour, moving onward every day. Freedom don't come easy, so they say. I think it's high time I should find.
Super subtle stuff here, right? I'm not looking for anything as I'm turning on and off the plugin. I'm not looking for anything like, whoa, that's a huge difference. I'm just looking for a little bit of movement for this vocal to push back into the mix. I'm not, and as I turn it off, it really pops out. It's a bit too dry. So I'm just looking for a little bit of movement.
Lifetime, just like a movie. That classic scene where the cowboy's on the run.
And now I'm getting into my own head. I'm thinking, oh my gosh, in solo, that sounds like way too much. But again, in context, these are where the answers lie. Now, here's the twist. The most important next tool here is not actually a plugin. Can you guess what it is? It's volume. And volume is the biggest lever you're going to have in a mix. It's actually what makes instruments pop. It's also how you create priority and clarity in a mix. So if something is getting lost, almost 9 times out of 10, it's one of these 4 problems. I like to call it the mix like a pro framework. So problem 1, something's just too quiet. So use the volume fader to turn it up or turn something down around it. Problem 2, other instruments are masking like the vocal, for example. So you would use the channel EQ and carve space. So like, for example, don't let guitars or maybe piano fight those vocal frequencies. Problem 3, something's too dynamic. I hear it really loud in sections and then it's quieter in other sections. Use a compressor. That will even out peaks so words don't disappear. For example, maybe some words in a vocal are too quiet and some are too loud. Compression will stabilize that. Problem 4, your mix or something in your mix doesn't feel glued into the mix. So use reverb and delay and glue that vocal, for example, into your mix. And this framework applies to everything. Guitars, drums, synths, you name it. It's not just vocals. If you want a printable version, grab the Mix Like a Pro cheat sheet. It's linked below. Still, the main problem with these 4 plugins is they are completely useless if you don't nail the recordings. So watch this video here and I'm going to show you my complete Logic Pro learning system that includes everything from recording to producing to mixing. Honestly, it's an accumulation of over 600 hours of Logic Pro tutorials that I've watched. I know it's a lot. I boiled it down to this one video. You actually need it. I'll see you there.